It just does.
All right.
Short
Hey,
version.
I understand.
If you're just tuning in, you're listening to Charm City Direct Radio. I am your host, the man that you all know and love, E Digger, E-D-I-G-G-A. And no, I am not saying that other word that Paula Dean got in trouble for. It is E Digger, E-D-I-G-G-A. Like I said, if you're just tuning in, got my man NSC GAMEBOY in the studio with me. And he's going to definitely tell you about him. Got my man right here, the legend,
Mr. Magnificent.
Sound like special ed. I'm magnificent. Can't forget my man Jerry on the video camera doing his thing, and I really appreciate what you're doing, man. Let's start out by saying thank you for coming in doing this interview.
Well, thank you, because I think the work that you're doing is a lot more bigger than the work that I'm doing.
Oh no, no.
You're putting a positive message out there in Baltimore. And I want everyone to know out there that the boy respects that, acknowledges, and man, it's just, that's tremendous.
Thank you, thank you.
So I wish you all the success and the best in all your endeavors and everything. And I hope the show truly get to reach some of these kids out here because they is misguided.
Yes.
Woo.
Yes.
I got a few of myself.
He got some of himself.
Yeah.
So, NSC
Yes.
means never stop collecting.
NSC is something that me and a guy who used to be a brother of mine came up with about 13 years ago.
Okay.
And before I start, we get a shout out to my brother Nooch. It was Nooch, you already know what it is. I know down in South Carolina. Yeah, my brother Trooper. My brother
Trooper or
Trooper.
Trooper.
C-H-U-P-A. Trooper. He know who he is. And also my man, the doctor. You know what I mean? Gotta give a shout out to them. But NSC started back when I'm a criminal. And we was doing criminal things.
Wow.
And
I'm amazed how you just, I'm a criminal.
yes, I am.
Lock the doors, Mike.
I do it all the time.
Yeah,
Promote criminal. All that. I do that too.
It's certain levels of it. But we used to go around and me and my former friend, we used to go around arcades and we used to beat up people in arcades and we used to jig up the machines to get money.
Okay.
With a little trick that we had. I can't tell you the trick.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Which arcade was this? The one up in Westview? Used to be on Westview, or the Crazy John?
The Crazy Johns.
Oh man.
Crazy Johns, Towson.
Oh man.
Yeah, we used to go down Crazy Johns and we just came up with this phrase like, man, we just gonna keep doing this. We gonna never stop. We gonna never. And next thing you know, we just looked at each other like, never stop collecting. And it was just like NSC, and we just looked at each other like, NSC, and that's how the ball.
That's how I was born.
NSC is almost, to me, is in my heart. It's something I live by. And it's a code that I live by. NSC regulations clearly state that. I just try to show people that you can do bigger, you can have bigger.
True.
And, you know, just got to put the work into it.
True. And along with that, you rap, of course. You have a
I've been told I can rap.
Okay. And actually, we're going to hear some cuts from your latest album.
Yes, Hit and Reset.
Hit and Reset. A little later on in the program. At what age did you start rapping, and who influenced you?
That's actually a good question. I started rapping in high school. And I was terrible.
Wow.
Lord have mercy, I was terrible. Like I can think back to times I was just shaking my head like I need to really quit. And
wow.
I was
you being honest.
Real.
You being honest.
Hey, I always a poet. I wrote good poems.
Okay.
And my teacher.
Well, that's how it started off.
Yeah. He used to tell me, he was like, you know, George, you write some good poetry, man. Like you really know how to get in depth. And I was a big Biggie fan. Kumo D, grew up to you know. KRS-One.
Yes.
I mean, and at the time in the 90s when I was in high school, Big Pun was out in the course.
Okay.
And I wanted to be like them. I wanted to rap. So I worked at it. I went to prison for a sting.
Okay.
And when I came home, my former friend, like I told you, he was like, you know, man, you need to rap. I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, man, like I think you can do it. He heard me do a freestyle before, and I was rapping in prison, you know, just. And next thing you know, I started working on the craft, and I'm here now.
Wow.
So I must be doing something right.
Yeah. Now, talk about your passion with video gaming, or would you call it a passion that you have with video gaming?
Would you believe I came up with the name Game Boy from in prison?
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you where this come from. I was so good in games. I played spades,
Okay.
and I played with this guy, and he told me, he said, "Look, man, if we lose, I'm gonna hurt you." And
So
I'm
you
looking
had
at
to do it.
yeah, I'm like, what? He's like, yo, if I lose, I'm gonna hurt you. And I'm like, yo, come on, chill, man. We in prison now. This ain't jail. This ain't holding. He dead serious.
Wow.
We played 6 games of spades and we did not lose. I was using every trick in the man. I was Yu-Gi-Oh out there. Like I was, you couldn't believe it. I was man. And he was like, yo, I the Game Boy, man. Yo, he do it. And that's where it came from. Now I never dawned. My name is George. My last name is Burkett.
Okay.
So it's GB.
Okay.
And I never thought of calling myself Game Boy. I've loved video games my whole life.
Wow. Okay.
So
okay.
for them to say that, it's kind of like a light just went like, really, am I that slow? Like, wow, I didn't. My name comes from me beating people in spades. So that's where the Game Boy started from.
Game Boy. Okay. Okay. Because we have a mutual friend.
Yes.
Hey,
Nick.
Hey Nick. Shout out to Nikki. She's listening.
Yes.
And even when she told me the name NSC Game Boy, and you have an app,
Mm-hmm.
I was amazed at the app, and I said NSC Game Boy, and I'm back and forth, trying to piece it together. Like, what do that mean? So we got a 2-for-1. You told us how NSC was started,
Yes.
and your name Game Boy. So let's flip the script for a little bit. You have a radio show that you are hosting called
Yes.
Under the Mat.
I'm the co-host.
The
And
co-host.
shout out to my man Tech, Evan Prout. I know you listening.
Cool.
Under the Mat. And the WMSK family, the Uncut family out there.
Shout out to them as well.
Yes. shout out.
Remarkable work that they're doing out there.
He came to me and told me like he was doing a wrestling show. And he was like, George, I want you to be a part of it.
Okay.
And I was like, you sure? He's like, yeah, man, I want you to be a part of it. I'm a wrestling fan,
Okay.
and I'm good in business. And I was like, okay. And we sat down, and it's been magic, man. Like,
Wow.
we just had a guy, Kenny Bolin. He was the
Yeah,
the
we
manager
was
of
talking about that
PW.
before
Yeah.
the show.
He was manager John Cena, Batista, Mark Henry,
Big names.
James.
Big
Yeah,
names.
a lot of guys, man. So it was good to have him.
And it's good that wrestling, because who would have who would have thought wrestling?
Well, that's what at the station they, some of the guys was kind of laughing at us because they was like, a wrestling show.
I get-
really?
yeah.
Like, wrestling.
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Wrestling.
Like really?
Yeah.
And the first show, man, we blew them out of the water.
Wow.
And I'm like, y'all, you didn't think this was gonna happen? The boys
Yeah.
part of it. Come on,
Yeah.
I got a reputation. I gotta
Okay.
make sure it's going right.
Yeah.
If it's not, my heart is in it, then
Because even when Nikki told me about it, she said, you do a wrestling show. And I was like, wrestling? Okay. All right, do your thing. But I did hear the show, and your show comes on every Tuesday
yes,
from 5 to 7.
correct.
And we actually, before you leave, we definitely going to get that
Yeah,
information out to
We
people.
gonna be here for a minute, so y'all
Oh
sit
yeah,
down
we're
and chill.
going to be here for a minute.
We got it.
So talk about your connection with wrestling. I know that you did some backyard wrestling.
Yes, I did.
Please talk about that.
Please do not try backyard wrestling at home.
You hear that? Do not
You
try
know-
backyard wrestling at home.
I remember years ago, I had got slammed through a garage roof and landed on top of a car.
Where y'all was that? In the backyard.
That room was
Listen, that was one of the most traumatic experiences, and I won the match. I don't know how. Don't ask. I think I had a concussion, but my wrestling roots come from a friend of mine's named James Scott.
Okay.
I call him Jimmy.
Okay.
His mother used to babysit me when she's like my Aunt Pat, and I remember going over their house growing up, and they was watching wrestling, and I'm sitting up there, I'm looking at what is this stuff, man, and guys slamming,
Mhm.
like, oh man, and ever since that day I've been hooked, and I've been to WrestleMania 3 times already. This is my 3rd year. I
Okay.
went to the one in Miami
Wow.
and the one in Atlanta.
Okay.
Previous. I'm going next year down to New Orleans when it
Okay.
comes. That's like my little ritual now.
Okay.
and I love wrestling. I watch WWE, Impact, Ring of Honor, just a wrestling connoisseur.
And just to hear, like I said, a lot of conversation was before the show. Just to hear you talk about, you know, your knowledge, because everybody that watches wrestling don't know about wrestling, and you'll be amazed of how many. Because I love it, but I know enough. I'm not going to say that, you know, I can get on a debate to talk about wrestling, but just to hear you before the show, I mean, you was spitting it, you know, and I was like, even the Dork the Clown, who would, you know, I guess it's research, but Dork the Clown, like, oh my God, like, you really dug deep into that, you know, so I just want to say, you know, thank you for just having that show, because a lot of, my son watches wrestling, and if it wasn't for the wrestling magazines that come out, because I was an avid buyer, I was like, oh my God, you know, and just to, you know, hear you talk about it and your passion with it is remarkable.
Thank you.
So,
thank you very much.
Yeah. So, backyard wrestling. Did you ever get hurt or beyond that?
If you look
incident?
closely, I have a mark right here.
Okay.
Under my lip. It was from me getting busted in my mouth.
Jerry, can you
Yeah,
see?
right here. It is mark right here. I know that y'all at home on the radio probably like, what is he talking about? Yeah. I have a mark under my lip. And I'm gonna show you how much dedicated I am to this craft. A friend of mine's named Coney. He's one of the guys that do what was called Battle Brawl. And shout out to Battle Brawl and everything, those guys out there.
Okay.
And he this stuff is dangerous, first of all.
Yes,
let
yes.
me stress this to y'all.
The name alone, not because you're all, the name alone, backyard, scares me.
Yeah, this is dangerous stuff. And he smashed me he grabbed the chair and he threw it to me. I grabbed the chair, he kicked the chair, and the leg of the chair, the hard part, crushed into my mouth, and one of my teeth went through my lip. And I was just bleeding tremendously, and everybody's around it like screaming and hollering. I'm like, oh my God. I'm not really noticing it till the blood started bleeding. I'm like, oh wow. I kept the match going for like another 10 minutes. Which that's not smart. If you're bleeding that much, you need to go to the hospital. I passed out and I woke up in the emergency room, and I had to get stitches and everything, and I won that match too, which I don't know how. You have to ask the people that was right.
How'd you winning these matches? Beating the hell out of you winning the matches.
For the grace of God, thank you for allowing me to. Because if you have this type of traumatic experience happen and you still lose, it's like, wow, really? It was just for nothing. But at least I did win. So, but it's dangerous. It is very dangerous. And you know, I just seen an article like a month ago. A little 10-year-old, he beat up his 5-year-old sister. I don't know if y'all hear about y'all probably Google it. Yeah, and doing wrestling moves on it, and he killed her. She passed away, and you know his family's trying to sue WWE, of course, and he's like, you know, come on, where was the parents at? But you know, he clotheslined her. Where you at?
And that's the first thing that people do, and they make sure that on the program they say, do not try this at home.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I can say about that is. They make it visible, very visible, to let people know that do not try this at home.
Yeah.
You know. So, and even my son jumps on me all the time. Like I can blow on him, man. He like, you want to fight?
Yeah.
You wanna fight? And he is like putting me in the L. He's clotheslining me. He even do the entrance moves.
Oh yeah,
entrance.
He's John Cena all day.
He's a mixture of everybody, and. It's like when I pin him, I can't pin him. I'm cheating when I pin him, but he can pin me all day.
Yeah.
You know. Shout out to my son. So he's a mixture of everybody. You will get Mark Henry's, John Cena, Undertaker. All of that is rolled up in one when he wrestled. I try to be myself. I'm Daddy-O, you know. But he's a mixture of everybody.
You should get a cape. Like
Okay.
people with capes are strong.
Really?
Yeah, I seen it in the movie. Yeah, in the mask.
Okay.
That'll probably work.
And I'm gonna get some of them pajamas with the footies. That's gonna be my outfit.
The what?
With the footies. I'm gonna get some of them.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Thanks, man. Thanks for giving me.
That's funny. You know why? Because I was doing that this morning, right? And I was playing my son, and I was like, "Hey, I got 3 minutes. 3 minutes of playtime. My son like, oh, you so funny, Dad. Like I got off of Spider-Man, but it was Macho Man and Randy Savage. Like yeah. Yeah. It wasn't funny. I was trying to.
Might be throwing his kids around.
I don't.
There's a lot of kids in the city that need to be thrown around.
Yes, a lot.
On purpose, not on a just.
People not calling my hotline.
Yeah.
People's not calling my hotline.
What's your hotline again, everybody?
1-800 beat that ass.
1-800 beat that ass. That's 1-800 beat that ass. Call in. But no, that's not the number 2 station, everybody.
That's the number to my hotline.
That's Mike Mumbles.
To beating your kids.
Beat that ass line.
And I got manuals that tell y'all how to beat your kids and what belt to beat your kids with.
Yeah, we gonna do this. You know, with Game Boy's experience from Backyard and Mike's experience, we gonna do a tag team on some of them kids out there who really need it. So if y'all call the number 1-800 beat that ass, we will hook that up for you.
Yup. And stop hitting your kids with your hands. You're gonna hurt yourself.
Get a belt or speaking of, let's talk about beating for a minute. Everybody in here got a beating. Shout out to my brother. My mother, God rest her soul, she used to beat me with a ruler that had my name and my sister's name on the ruler. In the middle, Ernest and Kim. And we hit it one day, but that was just one. And switches, everybody know what a switch is. If you don't know what you switch,
I never got, you know what, think what, I never got a switch.
Like you.
I know, let me tell y'all why. Cause I had the orange extension cord. I had the orange extension cord, so I never had I had the belt one time, and then I got an orange extension cord, and that's why I got so many cords around this building all the time. But I don't even my kids with extension cord. My kid ain't my belt.
No, if you don't know what a switch is, you're not from Baltimore. Everybody that I know what a switch is, and my brother, man, my mother would like, go out there and get a switch. He would bring back the tree. He would literally bring. Come on, man. He would just break off like the tree branches like this big. Come on, you trying to kill me? You know. Shout out to my brother Timmy. Yeah. But you're right. Some of these kids out here just need a good old fashioned Joe Jackson ass whipping. 1-800 beat that ass.
Now let me say this. Cause we need to go back to the topic. Now let me say this.
Yeah.
I want to tell all the females you have to stop beating your kids in public. It's ridiculous.
I'm gonna laugh.
No, I'm not gonna laugh.
Yes, I'm gonna laugh.
It's getting really played out right now. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna laugh because you know where I lose it at? In the supermarket. The kids just cut up and had them tantrums.
You can't put no kid around no candy. I'm sorry.
Yo,
I want
funny.
that.
I've seen them beating in the movie theater.
Yes.
And a dog.
Man, I see the kid.
It's Batman and shut up.
Yeah, I see this kid get beat from the club on happy hour down.
Oh,
that is so wrong. So wrong. Yo, 443-475-0073 is the number. Call in if you got any questions for my man Game Boy. Any questions for my man, me or Mike? Any call in. Love to hear
pick
from
up the phone. You know how to use it. Everybody got cell phones. Stop playing.
Everybody got Android or Sprint. They even got cricket phones.
They free.
So they ain't no way that you can't use that phone and dial 443-475-0073. Look, we want to get into some music. When we come back, we're going to play a couple of joints from your album.
Thank you.
Okay, so
someone will listen.
There is a God.
Yes.
You're listening to the Charm City Direct Radio Show. This is the man that you all know and love, E. Digger. And I'm here with my man, Game Boy, in the studio.
Hey, Mr. Magnificent.
I want to know what it's going to be next week. You're going to make up some type of M name. Get ready, y'all. It's going to be a different M name. I got an M name, but I can't say it. You're listening to Charm City Direct Radio, because if you don't know, then you know.